Life is precious, and we all have the opportunity of living it to the fullest. Unfortunately, so few of us know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, and careers? How do we account for the one life we have to live? I am so glad you asked. In this program, you will find answers to all of these questions and more. Welcome to the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore.
What's happening? And welcome back to another episode of the Account for Your Life podcast. Jay Moore, the healthy accountant, helping you to account for your life. Today, the cost I paid to control my body. This is my personal understanding, testimony. I just want to share best practices for those that are looking to control their body. I'm going to give you a principle that I use and a principle that I continue to use that is powering everything that I do. It's actually on this shirt, on the back of the shirt. It's the first word on the back of the shirt. And we're going to talk briefly. Well, we're going to talk about that word. We're going to talk about that emotion. Right? Because that emotion has been getting a bad rap. We've got a lot of churches, we've got a lot of religions, we got a lot of things that's giving that word a bad rap. And that word is faith. And I want you to think of faith today as an emotion. When do you think of it as an emotion? So, all right, before we get into that, I just want to invite anyone who is a man or woman of faith. Are you a man or woman of faith? If you are passionate about your health, your fitness, right? If you're passionate about your health and fitness, and then lastly, if you know you have to make a lot of money for your legacy, if you're looking to become multimillionaire, you could already be that, but you want to continue to power that with faith and fitness, then I want to invite you to a brand new club that I'm creating, that I'm going to be dropping the link for. I'm not going to drop it on this episode. I'm going to drop the link on the next episode. I just want to give you a heads up. On the next episode, I'll be dropping the link to a new club. And the first level of the club is free. It's free to anyone who is passionate about faith, passionate or would like to be more passionate about their fitness. But also, you have a legacy to build. You have a business to build. You have a ministry to build. And you know that you have to make or have access to many millions. Could be hundreds of millions. Then I'm going to invite you to this club just for people like that. Look, if you don't meet all three, there's no point in joining this club. This is just for people who meet all three: faith, fitness, finance. Okay. All right. So look, let's jump to this. The cost I paid to control my body, and it started in April. No, it was May of 2014. 2014. Here's my initial cost, guys. Anybody here ever have knee pain? Anybody here have hip pain, ankle pain, arm pain, foot pain, some kind of pain that would stop you from getting fit? Come on now. I've had surgery on my Achilles. I've had surgery on my foot. Those are the only two surgeries I've had. But I also have they told me I had arthritis in my left knee. I've had it like years ago. I used to go to the doctor. They drain it because it would flare up. I haven't had those flare up, but I still get some pain. But back in 2014, I made a decision. Everybody say with me, I made a decision. You're going to make a decision. See, faith is about making a decision. Faith doesn't work without decision making. And at the time when I made the decision, it wasn't to be anything more than, hey, I want to get healthy. Hey, I want to get in shape. Hey, I would like to see some changes happen in my body. Wanted to see some changes happen in my body. Back then, I didn't have any muscle. None. Zero. I've got muscles today, right? And look, could I, could they be bigger? Could I have more? Absolutely, right? They could be. but I have my muscles. But back then I didn't have any muscles, zero. I was just living life. But I knew that there was a calling. I knew there was something. And so I realized that I had to pay a price. I've heard a mentor say this. He says, the moment you get started to do something, that's when the pain sets in. It could be mental pain. It could be physical pain. And it was both. It was mental and physical. And when I started out, here's the cost. I went for a run. That was 2014. I hadn't quite turned 43 yet, but I was 42 years old. I was 42 years old with a bum knee. And I said, I'm going to go running. And it just so happened, it might have been May. It might have been June, actually. I think it was June when I started running of 2014. And in June, it was hot, burning up. But I realized that there was a price that had to be paid. And it was the price of getting on the pavement and just going for it. Now, here's the thing. Did I make a goal? No, I really didn't make a goal. But I just said, you know what? I think I can run 1 mile a day. Just one. I said, I can run 1 mile a day. So I put my sneakers on and I went outside and went running. And that's where it started. I paid a price. Now, I think a couple of episodes ago, I talked about the process that I learned running up the hill. And how I learned how to block out everything, even when there's pain, even when there's challenges, even when it was hot, even when it felt like I couldn't do it. I realized that if I set my mind on where I'm going, if I then only pay attention to the things that I can control, I would make it to the top. And I would get there and I would feel good and it wouldn't be as painful. I talked the same thing to my wife and she couldn't believe she ran up the hill. So I know it works. So I paid a price going running. But here's what developed, guys. Here's what developed in the process. Faith developed. Because what I learned about faith wasn't the same faith that I was exposed to in church. I'll say that again. Wasn't the same faith that I was exposed to in church. See, I thought faith came out of this thing called the Bible. Now, this is my mother's Bible. This is what she used. And on it, it says the word faith on it. She had her own faith. This is the covering on it. It says, now faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. So wait a second. I was sure I could run 1 mile, even though I had not run any miles on a knee that hurt, because every time I would do that thing, my knees would swell up. But I said, I believe. In fact, I know I can run that 1 mile. And so what was different about what started to happen is that I realized, write this down, faith builds with action. Say that again. Faith builds with action. And when you act on the things that you say you're going to do, that's when it builds, not before. No. Guys, listen to me on this, because I thought my faith was being built on me just saying stuff. I'm sorry. It doesn't build on me just saying anything. I really wish my faith built on just saying things, because boy, I've said a lot of things. And in fact, one of my clients, she sent me a video that she did. Shout out to Eileen Kapsaftis. She is the owner operator of HaveLifelongWellbeing.com, HaveLifelongWellbeing.com. She is a movement juggernaut. She helps people move without pain, and she's a physical therapist by trade, but really she is out to empower the world, empower people to become more functional in their movements. And she sent me a video that she did. I'm making a point about just saying things. She sent me a video that she did, and it was on faith over fear, right? I was like, okay, this is cool. And she says, you should check this out, right? So I went and clicked on it, like 4 minutes. So I'm listening to it. And then she introduces somebody in the video. And it just so happened to be me. She says, I want to introduce you to Jay Moore. He wrote the book, Next Level Faith. And, he's been a mentor of mine. And he did I did a training for her inside of her community. And she then began to train on something that I spoke on. We're talking about things. And it was the idea of, I had this idea about faith and fitness that I started to flesh out. I'm not sure when that training was. It may have been a couple of years ago. And I was fleshing out this training. I'm fleshing out things about what it is that I know who I am. And so she doing this training, and then she goes through an acronym that I created. It's the freedom process. And she went through and she taught on it. And I says, I've said so many things that I don't always remember the things that I say. Now, that could be good and bad, right? Sometimes, it's bad. Now, in this case, it wasn't bad. It's just that, what I said is transformative. Anybody who want to transform today, anybody who want to control their whole experience, well, I'm going to give you the key I'm going to give you the freedom process, which I believe is the key to developing your faith, because I know that it's developed mine. Freedom. What does freedom mean? Here's what freedom means. F. Forget the past. See, the past is controlling all of us in some form or fashion. See, when I say the past is controlling all of us, all you got to do is look at your life and say, well, where did those ideas come from? Those ideas came from the past. The thing that I do on a daily basis has come from the past. It's like a past idea. And this is one of the biggest challenges that we face is the past. It's like I went to school, I became an accountant. And here's the thing, when I chose to be an accountant, the version that I became is not the best version for today. It's not the best version. So the past could control you if you don't realize that we got to forget it. So I got to forget everything, all the stuff that don't serve me anymore when it comes to who I am and what I do, because when I have to forget those things so I can press toward the things that are for me right now. So you got to forget the past. This is the first level of reaching freedom. This is the first level. And I was like, wow. So once I forget the past, what do I do next? Now I got to renew my mind. That's R. Renew. Check this out. Renew is two words. It's two words. What's the two words? It's do something again, and then new. What is new? New is, you know what new is. It's like fresh. Feels good. It's all the stuff that we really desire. So do it again. Do it again, because at some point you did it. Really? At some point I was renewed? Absolutely. So renew. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Take your life to a new level. It says, do not conform to the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. It's almost like a renovation. What is a renovation? A renovation, if you know anything about construction, You know anything about construction? I've had construction clients. I've even been a part of some demos, not doing it myself, but I remember I had a rental property back in Baltimore some years ago. And I remember the guy, they demoed, like they had to renovate everything, tried to pull everything out. So when we're renewing our mind, that means we have to renovate. We have to strip out everything that is old. Everything that is old. Now, here's the thing. We're not getting rid of our mind. We're just taking out all the bad programs. We're taking out all the things that's not going to lead us to freedom. It's not going to lead us to control. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, guys, and I've got a great quote that I got from Napoleon Hill that I'm going to give before we get out of here that blew me away this morning when I heard it. But we got to renovate and get rid of, strip out everything that doesn't lead us to where it is that we know we are going. E, exercise your body. See, we're talking about faith and fitness and finance. Faith and fitness and finance. Fitness, that means exercise. Now, fitness can be in a lot of areas, but the first level of fitness is going to be exercise. And why do we exercise? Because here's the thing: it's nothing like being in shape. It's nothing like feeling good. Like you have to feel good. And how do you feel good? When you look at yourself. It's nothing like looking at yourself and saying, man, I wish I would look better. I wish I would do this thing. So then we have to put ourselves in a position to exercise over and over and over. I typically do these podcasts after I've exercised, after I've done push-ups, after I've done done a bunch of things on my legs and walking and all kinds of things so that I can stay just feeling good in my body. See, our body, remember, we're trying to get control. We want control over our bodies. We want to take our bodies to a new level. And we want to be able to say that, hey, I get to tell my body what to do, not my body tell me what to do. So we have to exercise our body. The second E. See, here's the thing. What if you just became free? Get the pass. Renew your mind. Exercise your body. And empower others. See, our lives are not our own. A lot of times we go through life and we are looking at our own self and, we're so concerned about ourselves. And one of the things that one of my first coaches helped me with was, he says, look, when things aren't going good, go help somebody else. Go help somebody else. This is one of the biggest challenges that a lot of people have, especially with this whole mental health age, is that the person is depressed. So that means that they are regressing. They are focused on themselves on the inside, but you got to focus on the outside. You got to go find somebody to help. You got to go empower somebody else. And what happens is when you empower somebody else, all of a sudden you feel better. It's like, yeah, I haven't been recording these podcasts every day like I used to. And there's a part of me that misses it. And there is a reason why I don't do them every day now. And I'll share with you why I don't do them every day, because I've said so many things. I don't want to forget. I want to forget all of the rich information. So I'm holding on to more, so that I have more to give when I give it. You follow me? So that the content is more rich. Even though I was doing okay, doing them every day, but I want the content to be more rich. So I said, I'm going to slow down once a week. So as we empower others, all of a sudden, we're feeling good. So right there, we're free. Right there, we are free. We forgot the past. We renewed our minds. We exercised our body. And then we empowered others. We helped others in what they need. And in turn, we became free. anybody with me want to be free? Anybody with me want to take their life to a new level? Anybody with me know that there's a calling on your life? Let's all get free. But we're not going to stop at free. See, because free is first level. We want freedom. Now, there's a few ways I can go with freedom, but I'm going to just take you through this acronym, the one that I personally created. D. See, now that we are free, something has to rule over you. Discipline. We got to discipline our actions. What does that mean? What does it mean to discipline your actions? It's kind of like I was talking to a friend of mine, Andre Campbell, some years, maybe about a year or two ago, and we were talking about religion. And he says, we are. It's not just about like the church and stuff like that, but religion. Think about what religion is. Religion is like discipline. It's like regimen. So when you really look at what the word religion is, it's not about like a church or whatever. It's just a regimen of values. And so it creates a discipline when you have this religious way of doing something. I religiously go to the gym. I religiously do these push-ups. I religiously watch over what I'm doing. I religiously make sure that I'm on top of different things. So religion goes with discipline. So we must discipline our actions in such a way. So guys, this is right here. This is how you're going to get control. See, because discipline, it's kind of like, you have to do something. Like I said that I was going to do something this month, and Lord knows I did not stay disciplined. I didn't. Because here's what happens. The moment you start something, I talked about that at the very beginning when I started going running. What happens when you get started with something? There's pain. Pain comes immediately because you're going into the unknown. See, that's why we have to build our faith. Our faith is built on the action. As we complete things, all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is great. It feels so much better. So the discipline of the actions, and that's why we have to have tools to help us to stay disciplined. It's crazy because I found a tool that helps me create presentations fast. I'm talking about in minutes. Now, here's the thing about the presentation. See, I'm using AI because it's kind of like I hired someone to say, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to hit this point, this point, this point, this point. Go ahead and put that together for me. It's like having an assistant that here's what you want and then gives you what you want. Now, it may be, let's tweak it here, let's tweak it here, let's tweak it here. But I'm not sitting there for hours on end. When I already, like when you know something, it's that simple. Because when you know something, you don't have to spend as much time. Now, there's things that you don't know that then you have to spend time with. Those are the things that I want to spend the most time with. But things that I do know, I want to get through it fast. So I was like, man, I made a commitment that I'm going to do more trainings and I'm going to create more resources in our business. And it hasn't been a bear. It hasn't been a challenge. And that's helped me to discipline my actions. Right? So you find tools that help you to stay disciplined. When it came to like working out and stuff like that, for me, I think the tool was the gym. Now, I started at home, to be honest. I started working out at home. That's all I did. I did that for at least a year. I worked out at home. That's all I did was home workouts, push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, body weight squats, and all types of ab exercises. And I did a bunch of things, stretching. That's all I did for almost a year. And that's just, man, I'm gonna use the gym, because then in the gym, I can get more resistance. I can get, access to more weights and more tools to help me. So your actions need tools, because that's how you can keep yourself disciplined, by using tools to help you along the way. Oh, almost finished with freedom, guys. Now you must do something. Here's what you do with O. Make yourself an offer. One of my mentors, Myron Golden, he has the Make More Offers Challenge. Now, this is not that kind of offer, right? Because you're making your own self an offer. Here's the offer you make yourself. Offer yourself a brand new life. Are you going to tell yourself no? That's why you offer to yourself. You don't go ask somebody else, hey, can you give me this? No, you offer it to yourself. Say, hey, here's what you can have if you want it. And just create a life that will serve, not just serve you, but serve the world, at least the world that you've been sent here to serve. See, when you offer yourself a new life, what happens is all of a sudden you become somebody different. Your identity changes. You know, I remember the day that I started saying, man, I'm the healthy accountant, helping people to account for their life. And, you know, it's one of these things where I'm just like, where'd that come from? That's a brand new life. I didn't know anything about it. But I was saying, I says, well, I'm getting healthy and I know I'm an accountant, but that has nothing to do with debits and credits. On a piece of paper, it has everything with the debits and credits of life. And I offered myself a life where I can do that. Didn't know that I was doing that to myself. Now, here's the thing. You can make yourself as many offers as you would like. See, because there's levels. You don't have to offer yourself a life so far out in front that is hard. I'm not saying you shouldn't reach further, but you don't have to offer yourself a life so far out in front. Offer yourself the life right in front of you, the one that you can actually move on today. Because if you can't move on it today, then your faith is not going to build. Because you remember this, faith is only built through action. Faith is not built when I read this Bible. It's not. I can read the Bible. I know many people who have read the Bible and they talk about they're afraid of things, and you know they're afraid of death. If that's all I have to be afraid of, then I'm not afraid of anything, because I know where I'm going. I know it. So offer yourself a new life. Last, you would like total freedom in your life. You would like control, because I know this is what I would like. Manage everything like your life depends on. My mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe, he said this. He says, management is the highest level of faith. What? When I heard it, I says, what? What? Yeah, management. Management is the highest level of faith. How can management be the highest level of faith? So I said, okay, wait a second. What is management? What is that really in? How does that tie in to faith? Well, see, when we're all given something, what are we all given? We're all given the same thing. We're given a life. Think about this. We've all been given the same thing, a life. But all our lives look different. This person's rich, this person's poor, this person's middle class, this person is healthy, this person is not. Management is the highest level of faith. It means that I've got to manage the stuff that I have. Like my life depends on it, which means I got to manage my life way better than I've ever managed it. This goes outside of business. You got a business, great, man. You got to manage that. But your life your life comes before your business. But what if we don't manage our life? So we have to manage our life in such a way. That's why this is the Account for Your Life podcast, because your life is more important than your business. Your life is more important than your business. Your life is more important than every other thing that you're dealing with. Your life, your family is dependent on your life. So if your life is out of whack, what's going to happen with the family? Then they won't have anybody to look up to. They won't have anybody that they can see is doing it. This is what I missed. Even though, like, my parents left me a lot. They gave me a lot. My mom started me with Next Level Faith because she had Next Level Faith. My dad showed me what being a professional was all about. He showed me what doing business was about. Even though he wasn't a business person, it's now the only knock that I would give is, man, if you could have shown me more about real life. More. My dad. I thought about it. I think about them every day. I thought about his life. I said, man, if he just exercised, if my dad exercised after he had a heart attack 21 years ago. He had a heart attack 21 years ago. If he started exercising 21 years ago, I know he would still be alive. My mom might still be alive because of him. So when you manage your life like everything depends on it, then that means everybody's life that's connected to yours is depending on your life. This is why I was born. So even though Dad didn't do it, he wasn't supposed to. This is the part where you have to just take what you've been given. You take it and say, oh, I get it. Dad wasn't supposed to. I was. Dad had the heart attack. I watched it. I realized I didn't want to have a heart attack. So I needed to change. I needed to change for Dad. Dad got to see me growing in a way that maybe he didn't grow. He got to see that. I believe what he saw was the growth of the kingdom in me. I believe he saw it. Mom saw growth of the kingdom in me. Mom saw next level faith in me. She saw it before she left. Wish they could be here. But I'm glad they gave me what they did. They gave me freedom. If it wasn't for their life, I could not have freedom. I could not forget the past. I could not renew my mind. I could not exercise my body or empower others, discipline my actions, offer my own self a new life, or manage everything like my life depended on it if it were not for them. So I thank Mom and Dad for freedom today. And I offer you today, not because I can offer you freedom, because I can't offer you freedom. I'll offer you this process, this framework that you can use in your life today to become the person who is faith, who is full of faith, who is fit for the job, and who is killing it in their finances. I offer you that today. And when we come back here in the next episode, I promise I will have the link to a new club. It's a free starter club. In the beginning, it's going to be free. I don't know how long it's going to stay free. I know I want to get up to 100 members. I want to get 100 members as fast as possible. I'm going to tell you what the name of the club is. I think you're going to love the name of the club. We're going to focus on faith mostly, because remember, faith is not just the substance of things hoped for. This is what Napoleon Hill gave me today. Faith is a state of mind. It's an emotional belief so definite, so commanding that it reshapes the very rhythm of your thoughts and directs your subconscious to act with precision towards its object. Become faith-fit. Join us. Continue to watch here, the Account for Life podcast. My name is Jay Moore, helping you to account for your life. God bless, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.